talkSPORT understands that Southampton are expected to appoint Jesse Marsch as the new manager today. Southampton Chiefs believe his experience of saving Leeds United from relegation last season can help them stay up. He was sacked by Leeds last week after 2 wins in 17 games. Gabby, are you surprised Southampton have gone for Jesse?
I think you just said it there. 2 wins in 17 games for Leeds United. Win rate 30%. You know, this season, he's just not got the best out of that squad of players. And at Leeds United, you look at that squad and you think they should be doing better. They should be getting more points, getting more wins. And he couldn't find the right formula for that. So to go from that, being sacked a week ago by Leeds, and for Southampton to sign him, you know, they got Nathan Jones wrong. You know, he wasn't the right appointment. Done okay in the Championship with Luton, but he wasn't the right man. Now, another risk. You know, this guy, Jesse Marsch, has got sacked by Leeds United. Out of all the managers you could have picked for the job, you go and pick him. For me, it doesn't make sense, and it just shows that, for me, Southampton will get relegated because I don't think he's the answer.
John is now for more on this talkSPORT's chief correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Good morning, Crookie.
Good morning. Gabby's cheered me up down here on the south coast, no end.
Oh, no.
I thought he was a United fan, wasn't you, Crookie? Is it United or Southampton? Which one is it?
I like the teams around me to do well, Gabby.
Has he got the job, and is it going to be long-term, Alex?
I think he has accepted the job. He arrived in Southampton last night. I think there's still some legal issues to overcome in terms of the details of the contract, but barring any late hitches, as you say, Southampton hoping to announce Jesse Marsch as their new manager today. They certainly want him in the dugout when they play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. I get where Gabby's coming from. 2 wins in 17 isn't a great record, but I've seen Leeds a lot lately, actually. I was at Old Trafford last week. I commentated their 2 games either side of that. They played really well and just didn't take their chances. So how much of that is down to a manager? How can he legislate for missed opportunities like Somerville after, 2 minutes against United at Ellen Road at the weekend, blazing over the crossbar from 6 yards? Is that down to the manager or is that down to the players? And he did keep Leeds in the Premier League last season. That's one of the attractions when it comes to Southampton opting for him. And also, Gabby says, why are you picking a manager who's been fired? I don't think the shortlist was too deep, to be honest, in terms of managers in work. They looked at Ivan Juric at Torino. He'd have been difficult, I think, to get out of his contract at this moment in time. They're big admirers historically of Marcelo Gallardo, the Argentine who led River Plate until very recently, but I don't think he wants the job mid-season. You look at the Leeds situation, they fired Jesse Marsch. They've been turned down by multiple candidates. They've now left Michael Skubala in charge for the foreseeable future. He'll probably see out the season.
Alex, I was going to say, look, and I don't want to be disrespectful here. Why would someone like Southampton or Leeds, or maybe they have, why wouldn't they try and get company out of Burnley? I know they could go down and Burnley are coming up, but, you know, you tell me a club like Leeds United couldn't tease Vincent Kompany coming to Leeds United?
I think Leeds would make more sense than Southampton for Kompany, because I think one of the reasons he took the Burnley job in the first place was because his family wanted to be back in the northwest. So geographically, well, Southampton is, you know, geographically.
Leeds just across the M62. No, I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah,
I don't think geographically Southampton would have stacked up for Kompany, but also, do you leave a Burnley side who are guaranteed now to be back in the Premier League for a team?
No, I don't want to be disrespectful, but Leeds United, you know, in terms of clubs, Leeds is a big club to Burnley.
It's a massive club, but I think what we've seen in their managerial chase, I mean, listen, there's a problem because they've got 3 different ownership groups all pushing in different directions. I think Victor Orta was quite keen to go down the Schroeder route. That was blocked by Radrazani, who is the overall owner. Then you've got the Americans who are due to complete a takeover of the club in the summer. They're having their say as well. So I think it's a bit of a mess behind the scenes at Leeds. But what we're also seeing, actually, is that maybe the lure of the Premier League, you know, outside of the so-called Big Six, isn't as strong as we believe it is when you look at the managers who've turned Leeds down.
I do think as well with Southampton, you look at where they are in the league now, Crookie, like, who's really looking at that job as an attractive one? Exactly. You know, the players aren't performing for managers that are at the club, and maybe Jesse Marsch just wanted to stay in the Premier League, so he was keen to take it.
Well, I think again one of the things that have impressed Southampton is how keen he is to take it. I think maybe he's motivated by what happened at Leeds. He felt that he still had something to offer there. He's going to want to prove them wrong. His second game in charge will be back at Ellen Road. That's going to be a highly charged atmosphere. I'm interested to see the length of the contract. It could well be that initially it's just a deal until the end of the season. I know that he's happy to take the job without the promise of a long-term contract, and that's impressed Southampton. That's a manager who backs himself to keep them up. And then he'll look at the long term after that.
Do you think they stay up then, Crookie? You sound confident.
No. I think it's difficult. I mean, two of the teams I cover on a daily basis, Bournemouth and Southampton, both in the relegation places. I think both did some good business in January. But if I'm going to come on national radio and say Southampton will stay up, you're going to ask me who's going to go down. I think Leeds...
No, we'll be looking for another chief football correspondent, to be honest.
I think Leeds, because of that upheaval behind the scenes, I think if anybody outside of Everton, Southampton and Bournemouth is going to go down, I think it could be them.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.